Today we visit the mythical Chindama Waterfall, a great one with almost 300 feet high, which to get to it you will have to go through an epic journey that includes, among other things, crossing some rivers. Without a doubt, an adventure that you can't miss. Let's start. Today's destination is one that I was really looking forward to. I had heard very good things about this waterfall, but above all, about the wild adventure you have to take to get to it. They told us that it was quite complicated and technical, and you have to cross several rivers. But the truth is that we arrived really looking forward to that adventure. To get to this impressive waterfall, you have to hire a guide. It is not the typical waterfall that Costa Rica has accustomed us to, where you follow a beautiful trail and in a matter of a few minutes you arrive. No, here there is not even a defined trail. There are many sections in which you literally walk in the middle of the jungle, and some of the rivers that you have to cross are very large and have strong currents.
Pega fuerte.
So if you want to venture on this epic expedition, please contact a guide. We'll leave you our guide's phone number below in the video description. It doesn't take long to reach the first step descent, where you have to use branches, roots and a rope to then reach the first river to cross. And the most impressive, because despite it not being the rainy season, we went in February, the truth is that the river was going down quite heavily, so we prepared to get wet. I highly recommend that you bring shoes that have good grip and that can get wet, since in addition to the rivers that have to be crossed, in general there is a lot of water during the journey. We crossed very carefully and with the help of rope, because the current hits heavy. A few minutes later, a big steep slope awaits us, followed by narrow passes through lush nature. This had only just begun and things were already getting quite rough. Finally, a bit of flatness, although you always have to avoid some obstacles. As I say, it is not an easy route, nor short. They predicted about 3 hours to go and the same number to return, although apparently we were at a good pace since we made each way in no more than 2 hours. As is customary in this wonderful country, the landscapes are spectacular, and they are throughout the entire journey, a visual delight, while you have to be very careful where you step, so don't get too distracted because you don't want to trip up. As I say, water is present through the journey, so I insist use water-compatible footwear. As you approach the second river, which I actually seem to remember is always the same river, a bunch of stones begin to get in our way, most of them covered with a thin layer of moss that makes them super slippery. So be very careful with this because not even the best of souls have grip here. If I remember correctly, you cross the river up to 6 times before reaching the waterfall. So if you have one, it is better to bring a waterproof backpack to keep your things dry in case you slip.
Oh!
beyond how cool it is to cross rivers, the truth is that it was very good to cool off a little. It is not overwhelmingly hot, but with so much humidity it does get a little muggy, and as the physical exercise is non-stop, you get a little overheated, so cooling off all the time is pretty good.
Sí, tío, está muy guay.
There is no rest. In the entire journey, there is no rest at all. You really have to come with a certain good shape because the route is quite tough, as you can see, and very technical too. But the visual reward is worth it all, and that's without even having reached the waterfall yet.
Madre mía.
Finally, it began to be seen in the distance. Chindama Waterfall. Obviously, with a drop of almost 300 feet, it has to be seen from afar. So let's go, we are almost there. Here we are in the mythical Chindama Waterfall. Look how wonderful, what an incredible rock formation, and what a huge fall. Just amazing. Obviously, I couldn't settle for seeing it from above. I'm one of those who has to go to the end, so with great care, I descended to the waterfall pool. How small and insignificant you feel under a gigantic wonder such as this masterpiece of nature is. Lastly, we should mention that a delicious food-fired meal was waiting for us at the meeting point where we met with our guide in the morning, where they also informed us that they offer accommodation if you also want to visit another great waterfall in this area, Rio Blanco Waterfall. But this one will have less for the next time. Thank you very much for joining us on this adventure. Like the video and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy it, and see you into the nature.